Look at a map of global GDP per capita. Notice something? The money tends to cluster in places where you need a jacket. Norway, Switzerland, Canada, Singapore, which has air conditioning as a national religion. Meanwhile, the equator hosts most of the world's poverty. This isn't coincidence. It's geography, history, and a lot of uncomfortable truths. Let's start with the obvious wrong answer. It's not about intelligence. IQ scores correlate with education funding, not latitude. The smartest person you'll ever meet might be farming cassava in Nigeria right now. They just never got the chance to become a physicist. The real story starts with germs, specifically the kinds that survive winter. In cold climates, winter kills most pathogens. Malaria can't survive a Norwegian December. Sleeping sickness doesn't do well in Canadian snow. The Black Death killed one-third of Europe, but that was their worst-case scenario. In the tropics, that's called Tuesday. Disease load is economic kryptonite. Malaria alone costs Africa $12 billion annually. Not from treatment, from lost productivity. Hard to build Silicon Valley when 30% of your workforce is periodically bedridden. Europe industrialized partly because their workers could reliably show up. Then there's agriculture. Temperate zones have predictable seasons. Plant in spring, harvest in fall, survive winter, repeat. You can plan, you can save, you can build surplus. Tropical agriculture is year-round, but also year-round complicated. Soil nutrients deplete faster. Pests never die off. Your crops are fighting for their lives 365 days a year. The soil itself discriminates. Temperate soils freeze, which locks in nutrients. Tropical soils get hammered by rain that washes everything away. The Amazon rainforest, the most biodiverse place on Earth, has some of the worst agricultural soil on the planet. All the nutrients are in the trees, not the ground. Cut the trees, lose everything. Now add colonialism, which wasn't random. Europeans colonized the tropics precisely because they couldn't survive there long term. They extracted resources and left. Temperate colonies like America, Canada, and Australia? Europeans moved in permanently. They built institutions for themselves. Tropical colonies got extraction infrastructure, ports for shipping wealth out, nothing for keeping it in. The colonial borders make it worse. Africa's borders were drawn by Europeans who'd never been there, splitting ethnic groups and combining enemies. Nigeria has 250 ethnic groups in one country. Yugoslavia had 5 and exploded. Stability is expensive. Instability is more expensive. Resources are a curse disguised as a blessing. Norway has oil but also winter that forces institutional planning. Nigeria has oil but also year-round warmth that lets poorly planned systems limp along. Cold forces competence. Warmth enables procrastination. Russia's oil wealth correlates with Moscow's temperature. The colder the capital, the better the governance has to be. Speaking of temperature, let's talk productivity. Human productivity peaks at 13 degrees Celsius, 55 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the average temperature of the world's richest cities. Above 25 degrees Celsius, 77 degrees Fahrenheit, productivity drops 2% per degree. Singapore solved this with air conditioning. Most tropical nations can't air condition entire economies. Transportation costs everything. Northern regions have natural refrigeration for part of the year. Food lasts longer. Less spoilage means more profit. Tropical regions need cold chains immediately or lose 40% of agricultural output to rot. Building cold storage in Norway means insulation. Building it in Nigeria means fighting physics year-round. The Industrial Revolution wasn't random either. It started in Britain. Rainy, cold, miserable Britain. Why? Coal was accessible, rivers were navigable, and workers showed up because staying home meant freezing. The textile mills were awful but better than hypothermia. Innovation follows comfort, but not too much comfort. Necessity mothers invention when necessity doesn't kill you first. Northern humans needed innovation to survive. Better heating, food preservation, weatherproof construction. Tropical humans needed innovation too, but malaria got them first. Education compounds everything. Cold regions build schools because children can't work frozen fields. Warm regions need children working year-round agriculture. By the time everyone realizes education matters more than immediate labor, the development gap is 3 generations wide. Corruption correlates with temperature, and it's not cultural, it's structural. When survival is easy, accountability is optional. When winter kills the unprepared, accountability is mandatory. Singapore broke this rule by being more air-conditioned than naturally cold places. Artificial winter, real accountability. Modern technology should fix this, but path dependence is brutal. Rich countries got rich when being cold mattered. Now they use that wealth to stay rich. Poor countries are catching up, but starting from behind means running uphill. China figured this out. Notice how their development started in the temperate north, not tropical Hainan. Climate change is the ultimate irony. Northern regions caused it by industrializing first. Southern regions suffer most from it. The solution requires wealth that southern regions don't have because northern regions extracted it. The circle isn't virtuous, it's vicious. But here's the optimistic take. Air conditioning and modern medicine are breaking the pattern. Singapore, Dubai, and Shenzhen prove tropical prosperity is possible with enough technology. The pessimistic take, those cities succeeded by creating artificial temperate climates inside tropical geography. I asked a development economist why this pattern exists. It's not that cold makes you rich, she explained. It's that heat makes staying poor easier. Poverty is the default. Wealth requires broken defaults. Winter breaks defaults by killing you. So tropical regions are doomed? No, they're just playing on hard mode. Same game, higher difficulty. Singapore won on hard mode by turning the whole country into an air-conditioned office. What's the solution? Massive infrastructure investment, debt forgiveness, technology transfer, and about 3 generations of stability. That's it? Also air conditioning. Lots and lots of air conditioning.